You guys read the title. I finally went for it. I bought this 2023 Chevrolet Camaro SS1LE from my buddy Mike. You guys remember Mike, and you guys remember this car. I've filmed it before. I've driven this. Mike is from the YouTube channel Just Car People Things, and he was thinking about selling this in the spring, and I thought, you know what? If I don't buy this car, I'm going to regret it because it's the perfect spec for me, and I've always wanted a Camaro. I've spent a couple years thinking about whether I should get a Camaro SS1LE or not. I ended up not getting one. I ended up getting my BRZ, my 2022 BRZ. It's a 2SS, so it's got all the luxury bits, the digital rear view mirror camera, blind spot monitoring, heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, the Bose sound system. It's really nice. It's the exact Camaro that I probably would have ordered myself back in 2023 when you could buy them. Let's start it up, we'll walk you guys around it, and we'll go for a drive. That startup never gets old. And there does the exhaust. This is painted in Riverside Blue. It's in full-blown winter mode, full commit here in Michigan. And one reason I'm buying this right now instead of in the spring is because I wanted to drive it in the winter. We've got a set of Blizzak WS80s that are around 7 years old, so we got to burn those off. Monte Titano wheels, 18 by 8 with 245/50 R18 tires. Nice meaty sidewalls. The wheels mostly fit. Took some finagling with the wheel weights to clear the brakes, and an inside brake ducting plastic piece on the inner weights. I just removed the inner weights, but it's good enough for me. Balances out pretty well on the highway. This car pretty much is ready to go from the factory. I think all it needs for track duty is brake fluid, and maybe we'll upgrade the pads once these factory ones wear out, or maybe we'll just keep throwing factory pads on here. I don't know. My goal with this car is to, one, see how I like it. I've always wanted one, and I figured I might as well just go for it. It's not replacing anything. I'm still holding on to the Civic Type R, still got the S2000, still keeping the Ranger Raptor. Oh, and, well, it can double a little bit as a family car, which I appreciate. That was an added bonus. You'll notice that Bear is back there. Dropped off my son this morning, and yeah, it works as a family vehicle, which is pretty sweet. I've already taken it to a rallycross. I did a tarmac rallycross in it a couple weeks ago. It got dead last because it's driving on 7-year-old Blizzak WS80s and didn't have any grip, but it was super fun. So we're gonna be doing some fun things with this Camaro. Taking it to the track in the summer, driving in the winter. I just took it to Crown yesterday, so it is rust-proofed and protected. And also Mike put quite a bit of fluid film on this last season because this was his daily driver for a year. It has 20,000 miles on it, and it's only a year old. All those miles are highway miles, so this thing feels factory fresh. It drives great. No issues, completely stock. He's already got mud flaps on there. The front end is PPF'd. Mike DIY'd this, and it's not the best DIY job, but it'll do. It'll keep it protected on the racetrack, which is pretty much all I really care about. And I can always have Larry redo it or something someday. So what do you guys need to know about this Camaro SS? You know, we've reviewed this car many times. I've driven a few of them. It's a practical enough sports car. 6.2 liter LT1 V8, 455 horsepower, 455 pound-feet of torque, Brembo brakes. Pretty much one of the only fully track capable cars under 50 grand. This cost me about what I paid for my Civic Type R, maybe a little bit less. And we're gonna do some comparisons too. I mean, I think honestly, this Camaro is the best bargain under $50,000. One of the best driver's cars ever made, with the new Dodge Charger being a complete disaster. The new Mustang costing $70,000, $80,000 in dark horse form. This just seems like the logical buy for 2025 while they're still cheap. And you can get a 2017 or 2018 one of these for around 30 grand, which is pretty impressive. So I don't really have a plan for this car other than to pretty much try to keep it as stock as possible. I don't really want to put a bunch of money into this because I think it's pretty much perfect the way it came from the factory. Brake fluid, we'll do that. We'll just keep up on the maintenance. We just changed the transmission fluid, did the 20K service, rear diff fluid. It's got an oil change. I mean, you know, it's the LT1 6.2 liter V8. We'll see how it holds up. Still got plenty of warranty left. We'll do some comparisons between this and Will's CT4V Blackwing that he just purchased, which is very exciting. Will had the Time Attack Hyundai Elantra N, and he's been itching for a CT4V Blackwing, so I think this and that will make a really fun comparison. All right, let's hop in, we'll go for a rip, and we'll wear out these winter tires a little bit. I think one of my favorite things about this Camaro, besides the engine, which is, let's be honest, that's the hero here, in addition to the mag ride, the handling, the dynamics of this, my favorite thing about this Camaro is just how comfortable and luxurious it is. And part of that, of course, is the 2SS package, but it's just so nice having a heated steering wheel in the wintertime, heated ventilated seats, a good sound system. This Bose is awesome. We've got blind spot monitoring, a digital rear view mirror. I mean, all the creature comforts that I could possibly want. And actually driving this as a winter vehicle, having that heated seat, having that heated steering wheel is really, really nice. It's kind of tough getting into my Civic Type R. The shifter's freezing, the wheel is freezing. That car doesn't even have heated seats. And, you know, it makes it a little bit challenging to enjoy and drive in the wintertime. All right, first world problems, but I find myself driving the Raptor, the S2000, and this now way more than the Type R. One neat little tidbit is that Mike has not reset the trip odometer in this since it was brand new. So we have 20,006 miles on this car. The trip A says 20,006.4 miles. And the average fuel economy in that time is 20.9 mpg with an average speed of 55 miles per hour. So yes, this was highway driven from wherever Mike lives to Lansing, Michigan, which is all highway, straight shot. He bought this as kind of just a high-speed commuter. He came from a BRZ, which is not a very good high-speed commuter. This, you could easily average 25, 26 miles a gallon on the highway at speed in complete comfort. And that is really nice to have. So we'll probably do some road trips in this car too. Sure that in my ownership that fuel economy number will drop significantly. This SS1LE has all sorts of performance traction management settings. To be honest, I've just been turning everything off. Looking forward to driving on the summer tires, the Goodyear Eagle supercar tires, but honestly, these winters are a lot of fun. They're a blast. Ride is decent. It's a little bit stiffer at lower speeds, especially in colder temperatures, but it does smooth out awesome once you get going and get some speed under this car. Do have a head-up display, but I usually turn that off. It's interesting because this Camaro doesn't really feel or drive like anything else in the GM lineup. The steering wheel feels different. It has this really nice thin rim, and of course the Alcantara feels fantastic. The shifter is different from the Blackwings. It's a little bit notchier, a little bit coarser to shift through the gears, which I kind of like. It's not as smooth. And I don't know, the steering feel, the buttons, some of the switchgear in here are shared parts, but I don't know, this just has a different feel overall as a vehicle from any other GM product that I've driven. It's got more heft to it. It feels higher quality, better built, and better calibrated. lot of burbles from this exhaust. If I'm being honest, that's probably one of my least favorite things about this car. It does get old occasionally. Right now I have my suspension set to tour mode, just because it's cold and we're on winter tires. We don't need sport or track. And the exhaust is dependent on drive mode. So right now we're in sport. That's pretty much what I've been daily driving this in. Track, the exhaust gets a little bit loud, a little bit rowdy for my tastes. Sport is kind of perfect. And there's no lift shift. And if you see any smoke coming out of the back, don't worry. That's just Crown rust control oil burning off, because I just got that put on yesterday. Super smooth, super quiet, and just nice on the highway. This is gonna be a fantastic road trip vehicle. Let's try rev matching. It works well. I'll probably use it on the racetrack, but this engine, the LT1, is so responsive. It sounds so great when you rev match yourself, and you can just get perfect blips out of it with barely any effort. It's a very satisfying manual transmission to drive. Great steering feel, even on winter tires. Pedals are perfectly placed for heel toe. Visibility, that's always the elephant in the room with the Camaro. It's a little bit cramped, a little bit cave-like in here, but overall, I can see forward, and I have really good side visibility. These long windows, these long doors really help with that. I usually put my silly little circle blind spot fisheye mirrors on cars, and between blind spot monitoring, the wide angle nature of these mirrors, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape with this Camaro. Oh, skip shift is annoying. I did buy a skip shift eliminator for like 30 bucks on Amazon. I'll have to install that at some point. Even on old winter tires, grip is just insane. This suspension, this chassis is so dialed in. This is a different type of driving experience for me. I'm not used to having to hold back as much on the street. The power delivery here is so linear, you don't really realize how fast you're going until you look down at that speedo. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest con living with this Camaro on a daily basis, is that I can't really ring it out like I do some of my other cars that are a lot slower, like I'd like to on the street. While we're just cruising here on the highway, let's go in and do a quick sound system test with this Bose audio. So far in my ownership over the last week, it's been a really impressive sound system. We've got audio controls down here on the steering wheel, out of the way, I like that. Big pocket volume knob in the middle. Honestly, in my opinion, this is the best in-car audio in this class. It's better than the Supra, the Mustang, the Z, the Challenger, the Civic Type Bar. I think it has a little bit of an edge on. That's probably its toughest competitor. GR Corolla. Play with the exhaust some. Let's go into tour mode. Those valves still open above a certain RPM and above a certain throttle percentage, but it is quite a bit more muted. Quieter in tour mode, but it can also be louder too. So it's kind of a nice balance. Burbles do sound a little bit strange with the valves closed, but the throttle tuning is super linear in all drive modes. I really appreciate that. It's nice and responsive, no complaints there. Brake pedal feel is just fantastic. It's like you're pressing down on a block of wood. Thing was filthy all week just because of all the snow and salt that was on the roads. So first time I've really had it cleaned up. Paint's in great shape. Mike really took good care of this car. He did ceramic coat it, a lot of detailing, and I think it honestly looks pretty good on these wheels. Try track. Be a bit of a menace to society for a minute. The burbles are extra harsh in track mode. Gears 1 through 5 are just for shifting, and then 6th gear is your highway overdrive, your just fuel economy gear. Revs drop to about 1500 RPM, and you can just sit there. No passing power, just for cruising. But it's nice how pretty close ratio gears 1 through 5 are. I find myself shifting into 5th pretty often, even just around around town. And of course, there's so much torque here that you can just drive this at pretty much any RPM. Yeah, the exhaust gets loud in track. Even in track mode exhaust, it gets quiet. No drone. I don't know what magic or witchcraft GM Performance did with the exhaust here, but it's just perfection. Oh, and it does go through quite a bit of fuel. It is a decent sized tank, but oh man, it's just, when you're getting on it, it devours gas. And it takes premium. That's okay. It's what you pay for having one of the last American V8s. You got to go out and spend $90,000 for a CT5V Blackwing, which is one of the greatest sports sedans ever made. But it's expensive, and it's not as raw or engaging of a package, and I don't think it sounds as good either. To be honest, I wasn't really planning on buying another car. I didn't need another car. But if I were to recommend one vehicle for 45 grand or thereabouts, this would be it. And you could still get them for less. I just wanted a factory warranty, and I wanted as late of a model as I could get. You might think it's kind of strange having paddle shifters on a manual car, but it's so nice to have Active Rev Matching available to you within a single button press and not 7 freaking menus like the Civic Type R has. That's so dumb. I don't know why they did that. This is great. Play around a little bit with PTM. We go into track, ESC competitive mode, and we'll just try race. Why not? There. Steering gets extra heavy in in track mode. That should be locked out in my settings, but maybe in PTM mode that's not the case. Yeah, it should be in tour, but it did get pretty weighty there. Not sure why. But it works great. I mean, the system keeps you in line so well, even with limited grip today on winter tires. Alright guys, well, there's a first drive in the Camaro SS1LE. I think we're going to have some fun with this car. Next video might be when it's snowing, a little bit greasier out. We'll have some fun burning these Blizzaks off a little bit more. And then maybe we'll do a few comparisons. So far, initial impressions, really, really fun car. Great ownership experience in the first week. I will admit I had buyer's remorse after I decided to get this. First drive I went in it, pretty much erased all of that. Anyway, stay tuned for some more videos on this car and some others in the fleet. We'll have some fun on this year. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. How does wind buffeting compare to the Supra?